Hey, it's the Chief Bonding with Board Games and RPGs. We are back with Twilight 2000 Season 2. By the way, if you're enjoying this, I'm going to remind you right now, please do like and subscribe. It helps other people find this show. So, all right, enough of that. We are on a road trip. So those that don't know, go back and watch the other shows. But they're headed to get gold. They're going to Warsaw. They have to travel Highway 15 to the Vistula River, and I'm having them go point by point with occasionally moving off the road as needed. Dropping into the scene, we were at the farmhouse where, if you tuned in last time, you found out there was a family there, and it looks like the father used his 12 gauge to end misery, including his own. And Sanchez said, hey, the shotgun works, and he's collected the shotgun and 12 rounds of ammo. It's now morning, nothing happened, uneventful over the night. They're going to begin their trek back on Highway 15 toward Strafelno, is the next city along the road line. Now again, they may skirt the city, but as they start out, remember there's a convoy. They're going to have the 4 Russian camo guys with Casimir, the Polish 16-year-old, about a half mile up front in a Toyota pickup. Then there's a BTR-80 with the Spetsnaz inside, and then our U.S. troops, Krieg, our contractor, they're in a Georgian armored vehicle. They're holding back a little bit, almost using that Toyota truck with the camo guys. They are in communication, and the Polish kid as like a human tripwire. So keep that in mind. All right, I am using Fate, and normally we would just see what, is there something that happens? Is there a scene that happens on the road here? But I'm also using the cards from the original. I have Urban Ops, but this is from the original because they're on road movement. So I'm just going to draw. I'm not going to roll on the Fate chart to see just because we are doing point-to-point movement. I do think there could be a random event, and we're going to let the cards rule this. So what is it? What is it? Suddenly, the thick gray clouds of soot from countless nuclear detonations dissipate, and the sun breaks through the smog. The sight of the sun heals 1 point of stress, and weather turns to fair. Interesting. So, we don't currently have any heavy stress. Casimir may have had some. Let me check Casimir real quick. Multiple characters running here, so let's see. Is anybody running some stress? It shows Krieg has 1. I don't remember when he picked it up, but this picks up Krieg's feelings go up 1. Sanchez is good. The Major is good, and that's right, I've got Casimir over here. Actually, look at this. Timur Vladislav had 1, so we're going to get rid of that stress. Luca and Afanya are good. And I was right, Casimir had 1 as well. All right, well, this is very nice. So good night's rest, and the sun breaking through and clearing up some of the fog bodes well for our troops as they begin the next leg of their journey. I like that. All right. Using Fate, however, I want to get a feel as they work their way towards the road. So I'm going to go for action subject. I think I'll just roll once on this. Hopefully I can figure out what it means. 82 is activity. Okay. So some kind of activity. What kind of activity? We have 66. That's a double, but not in this. Doesn't matter. Let's see. Fears. Activity fears. Well, that does not give me enough. 46 is develop, and 99, wow, under subject, anger. Develop anger. All right, so what would be activity, fears, develop anger? We know we're starting off on the road. All right, let's ask some yes-no questions. 50-50, is it somebody that takes like a wild shot at the group? So 50 or less is a yes. 95. So that is a hard no. So not only is it a no that it's a random shot, it's a hard no, so it's even worse. It's not anything aggressive in that way towards us. That's the hard no. So if you have activity fears, develop anger. Okay, so moving away from that, it would be some human activity. I think there is an animal, and it's going to be rustling, which gets everybody afraid because they can hear, I like this, they can hear some activity, some rustling off, or they see rustling off to the side. I like it. Animal-wise, is it a deer? I think deer would be great. 50 or less. 56. No. Let's go with something a little more dangerous. Bear? Sure, there's got to be bears in the Poland wilds, I would imagine. 37. It's a bear. So I'm imagining, I even think in the cards they have a bear. I'm imagining there's some rustling off to the side, some noises, and it definitely triggers a lot of moving over and covering. Let's keep this Casimir and the 4 Russians centered because they're in the Toyota truck kind of packed in. And I think they would spot this and pull to a halt and probably even call in, hey, we've got some kind of activity on the side of the road and we've got the fear of that coming. And then all of a sudden, so it's develop anger. They see that it's a bear. Is the bear rushing the truck? Let's just go, I don't think it would. Let's go very unlikely, 25 or less, 49, so no. But they see this bear is rustling off to the side. Now it says develop anger. So I think the Russians, or even Casimir, were a little nervous about this noise and they suddenly see it's a bear. And I think one of the Russians is just going to unload an AK at it. And they are not the best shots. I've got them done up on a little side sheet here, D. So they're just rolling 6-sided die. And with the AK, the weapon, what does it give? All right, so they're just he's gonna rip off a bunch of rounds at the bear. Does he get a hit? He gets, 2 hits. What? So 2 hits. The extra hit does 1 more point of damage, and I got to go back and double check how much damage. So damage is 3. That would do 4 damage. Again, he's ripping this off at a bear. Half his mag, by the way. So 30-round mag, 12 rounds fired, roughly. And with that damage, it does take it up to a critical. So he's done a critical injury to the bear. I'm curious, where did most of these rounds go into the bear? Ooh, right into the center of the chest. I think it just drops this bear right in the spot. And I don't know why, but the Russian that got it is extremely proud. They stop. Casimir's like, I think we should still be going, but the Russians are like, almost had the Russian name for bear, maybe. I don't know. So they go, no. They run out, and all 4 of these Russian commo guys muscle and drag this bear, who's probably not the best of shape. I'm picturing like mangy fur, but they're thrilled that this bear was killed, and they muscle it into the back of the Toyota. And I think one of them, while they're driving, is even starting to kind of clean it. I don't know. I mean, this is meat, so you wouldn't let it go. Not sure how good the meat is. We will probably check later. So let me put wild brown bear, black bear, and mangy fur, but could be irradiated. That will be determined later. So kind of odd, but there is a ripping off of rounds. There's a reloading. There's a lot of Russian as these guys stop and drag the bear up and then get to work in the back while they're still driving. I think there's even some calls over the radio. Hey, we got a bear and we'll eat good tonight. And I think there's a little bit of head shaking kind of coming from the back. Now, here's the main question. Does the shooting of this half of a mag of AK-47 draw any negative attention. I actually think it would be at least somewhat likely. You know, the vehicles alone, but, you know, the ripping off of the rounds would carry for quite some time. So 65, ooh, 59, yes. So it's drawn some type of attention. What kind of attention did it draw? 91 is pursue. Pursue what? Pursue, and what is the subject? 86 is hope. Okay. First it wasn't that good, and now it sounds better. Pursue hope. 29 is take. Take what? Take what? 39. 39 is news. Okay, pursue hope. Well, that tells me, take news. That tells me somebody who's desperate, who's pursuing hope. Here's the gunfire, and they're so desperate that they move towards the gunfire. This doesn't feel like it's a threatening. They're pursuing hope. Male, female. Odd, male. Even. So a female, okay. So we have a female pursuing hope. And then it's take news. That tells me she's going to have some kind of news. Oh, I got it. That's it. So as they're wrestling this bear into the back of the Toyota, Casimir sees how old? We're going to roll percentile dice. Could be somebody fairly young. 8. Just the 8. Okay. Sees an 8-year-old girl. Kind of dirty, wearing an overcoat, a stocking cap, clearly small in stature, kind of peek out from behind a tree. And Casimir, the Russians are wrestling with a dead bear. Casimir sees this girl, and she looks desperate. And while they're messing with the bear, I think he gets out of the vehicle. He has his M4. He approaches cautiously because this could be some kind of trap. Now, he doesn't know she's pursuing hope. And take news, I believe what this means is she's actually from Strayfelno and can give news of what is going on in the town. And since she's pursuing hope, I don't think it's going well in the town. So I think he cautiously kind of makes his corner. He's looking past her to see, is this a setup? Is there any kind of threat? And in Polish, he just says, who are you, little one? I think she quietly, nervously says, Isabella? Now, I'm picturing her holding like a little stuffed bear. Let's just keep the bear theme going. But no, she's holding a little stuffed bear. It too looks like it's been through hell. And she's clutching it, that security blanket type stuffed animal clutch. And he says, whoa, where did you come from? And she says, I used to live in Strayfelno. Am I saying it right? Yes. Strayfelno. And he says, well, that's where we're headed. And she says, oh, I wouldn't go there. Ooh. So take news. Why? Why would we not want to go there? Well, we wouldn't want to go there because 30, break. Okay, so there's break. And what else? Break, 77, trials. Trials. Break trials. Okay, it could just be hard times. 61, oppress. Okay, oppress. Sounds foreboding. 24, tension. One more. 73 is propose. Propose. 71, a representative. Okay, so break trials, oppress tension, propose a representative. So she's saying, why would we not want to go to Strayfelno? Break trials. So The city is basically in conflict with itself. There's a lot of fighting going on there. Oppress, tension. So, yeah, her particular apartment block was part of a lot of combat, and her parents told her to flee, and she had seen that they were wounded and probably dying, and she just fled that area. Propose a representative. I don't know what a representative would be. But I could see Casimir, because of all the care he showed for his brother, we know Edic, and then his deceased brother, who was about this girl's age. I think he's going to have a soft spot. And he's 16, so he says, well, why don't you come with us? We can look out for you, which is not what, I mean, they're headed in a worse place. That's not smart at all. But I don't think he can just let her keep walking. I think she says, where are you going? And he says, well, we're actually going through Strayfell. And she says, boy, I don't think she'd want to go back there. She's 8. She's run away from there. Yeah, I think she says, I'm not going back there. There's still too much fighting. I don't think Casimir is going to try to make her, but I think he would give her a ration. So Casimir is going to lose a ration. They're set up pretty good. I think he's going to lose 2 rations. He gives her some rations of food. I think the Russians have seen this girl. They're busy messing with the bear, but I think one of them is like, hey, Polish, why do you play with children? He says she's scared, she's hungry. I think he recognizes, I'm not saying these Russians are dangerous or anything, but he doesn't know them very well either, and I don't think they're predatory, but I don't think they would want an 8-year-old along with them. He gives her a couple rations and says, boy, would he tell her to head to Nizhno? Yeah, I don't know if he's telling her. Yeah, that's exactly what he did. Not to the base, but Nizhno is not in chaos. He gives her the rations and says, if you follow the road, and he warns her about the area of radiation, which is going to be hard for her to make this trek, but he gives her some general directions and kind of tells her stay away from the road. She wouldn't follow the road anyway. This girl, big trouble if she's on a road. But he kind of tells her if you can stay in the general direction of going south and back to the west, look for and ask directions when safe for a town called Nizhno. Tell the mayor Casimir sent you if you're able to find it. And I think you may find a safer place. That's it. So, who knows? Is Isabella going to ever find the town? I don't even think she would go on the sheet normally, but I'm going to go ahead and put her. So, Mythic uses scene sheets and characters. I'm going to put Isabella on here just in case. Isabella 8, walking towards Nizhno. Probably not going to make it. I bet we'll never see her again, sadly. But he gave her a couple rations. He's a couple rations shy. And on they go. The bear is handled. Everything's done. They're up and they're moving again, with the added intel that Strayfelno is in chaos. Decisions are made by both McGiffin and Krieg and Vladislav that they'll skirt this town as well. They've got their maps out. They realize, hey, we're going to get probably within 10 miles of the outskirts, and we're going to shoot around the side of it. We're going to go around the side. We're going to go off-road. Maybe they even get a little bit closer, but they are not going to enter city proper. They're not going to try to push through. Sounds like too much chaos. They're going to take that tip. Because of that, we're going to continue with the road movement. No major problems, but as they go off-road, let's just do another random event. I'm going to let the random event drive this off-road. So they're moving off-road. I think they made pretty good time. We're getting into the afternoon. The Russians are wanting to cook the bear. All right, we're moving off-road. I do think the group is going to tighten it up. Half mile ahead for Casimir and the 4 Kamo Russians when they're on the road, but I would imagine they shorten that down to just 400 meters, 500, 600, 700 meters ahead, leading through with that Toyota truck kind of finding a way. That would be better, a little bit easier to stay in connection with each other and to use that Toyota truck as the scout. I like it. Real quick before I pull a card, I'm curious, are we having any kind of vehicle trouble from any of the vehicles? Just popped in that maybe we are. I'm going to go with still somewhat unlikely. They've got the vehicles ready. They picked the best ones. They treated them, but, you're on the road. 65%. 4. Yeah, that's 13 is not only a yes, but 13 or less is a hard yes. So, yes. We have one of the vehicles having trouble. I'm going to go 1 to 2 is going to be the Toyota, 3 to 4 is the BTR, and then 5 to 6 will be the Georgian armored car. 2, the Toyota. All right, easiest vehicle to replace. And probably the one having the most trouble off-road. So they have a problem. What would the problem be? Are we talking engine trouble? Are we talking flat tire, problem with the transmission? It gets stuck. All right, I'm going to go for action subject, but we're looking for the context of this being the problem with the Toyota. Just roll this one time, or, action subject. 23 is judge. Okay, I don't know how that would make anything. Judge. And 7, judge allies. Okay, but again, this has got to be in context to a problem. So if you were judging allies, just think like good helpers and judge. For some reason, the allies itself are like the 4 tires is what I'm seeing. And I think they're having problems with one of them going flat. Is it that one of them is not going flat? Flat. 17, yes, okay. So, but it was also not just problems, it was major problem. That tells me it's flat. Well, they would have a spare. I would imagine not only did it go flat, but they damaged the rim. So this tire will be difficult to fix. So damaged rim and tire. Now they have a spare and they're going to replace the spare. That's not going to be a problem. You got 5 dudes replacing the spare. Matter of fact, as they're replacing it, one of the Russians isn't helping. He's dressing the bear. He's getting it ready and skinning it, doing whatever you do with the bear. So that's happening. And I do think with that problem, the BTR and the Georgian armored vehicle would come up and pull security. Hey, we hit a boulder, hit an off-road rock, flatten the tire. They're going to pull security. So the first question we have to ask is, I think Krieg pulls out the Geiger counter, wants to see if the bear is irradiated. I actually think this is probably likely. 75% is the bear irradiated. 63. Yes, I'm going to go with the percentage here that 63 means it's not nearly as bad as Krieg thought. It's beeping a little bit. And I think the Russians are like, probably as irradiated as us. And I think Krieg does kind of point it at the Russians and Vladislav, and it's irradiated more than we are. So we've got some slightly irradiated meat. And I picture the Russians are very proud of this mangy bear skin. And it is somehow strapped to the hood of the Toyota. Talking about the heat will help cure it. I don't know. So the hide of the bear, this makes an interesting deal. Hide of bear is strapped to the hood of the Toyota. And meat is made. And they decide, the Russians decide they're going to cook and eat it. I don't think the Americans want anything to do with it. And Krieg's like, let them eat. So I think they'll eat it. I think Krieg and probably even the Spetsnaz step off from the irradiated meat a little bit. What I will do is give these Russian camo guys just like one tick up on the irradiation side. I've got them on a shortened scale. I don't have them fully fleshed out characters. So I think we're going to pull the scene right there because of this damaged tire. They do have the spare. They're going to change it, but now there are no spare tires. So I'm going to make that note. That could be a problem, obviously, if the Toyota comes up lame again, and it might even be something they're going to want to fix and try to scrounge around somewhere, or if they run across a Toyota, they would clearly at least strip off and swap tires on it. Swap probably a whole wheel. Got it. Yeah, that's what we'll do there. We're going to call the scene. They're going to go ahead and camp there. I will do a quick, no, we'll open up on the next one. They're going to pull security like they always do at night. So when we open up the very next scene, it will just be, are there any problems that occur as they're set up? They do have a fire because they're cooking meat. That's good. I would say they waited. They didn't let them start the fire. It was a small fire until nighttime, so the smoke isn't seen. And we'll call a scene right there. All right. So a little bit of travel, a little bit of warning. Stay out of the town. I like that. Isabella could show up in Gniezno. The bear hide on the hood of the Toyota makes it a little creepy. Almost a little Mad Max-ish, I think, maybe. A little odd. The fact that they were scared, fired up on this bear, and then Isabella comes up. Good. I'm good with that. Another reason to skirt town. All right. Chief, Bonding with Board Games, please again, like it and subscribe if you're enjoying the show. We'll continue with this as they move toward Warsaw, and before that, the Vistula River, to try to get on board a ship to get them to Warsaw to get said gold. They have to get there first. Chief, Bonding with Board Games and RPGs. Thank you.